Hello fellow minions, it's time to get strapped in and get your strap-ons. It's bringing back my wonderful Q&A, wonderful series again. I actually deleted it for quite a while, then I thought, bring it back. It used to be called What's Up Doc. I don't know if I should call it that, or I think I'll just keep it to Q&A. But Q&A is highly overrated to use, so I think I might use the old What's Up Doc. Yeah, why not? And here we go. Thank you very much for asking me these amazing questions, for those of you that were interested enough to actually ask them on my Twitter. I need to close that window sometimes. There's my green screen mate. There he is. He's over there. Okie dokie. So everyone that asks these questions, they're going to be tagged on Twitter. Their accounts will be in the video description if they have YouTube accounts, that is, as well. If not, they'll just be on Twitter anyway. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to have my whatever. Let's go. Okie dokie. We've got our first question from Miss Piggotto. Hello, Miss Piggotto. And it's, do you eat a lot of baked beans? Well, I'm British, so that pretty much answers that one.
Land of hope and glory, mother of the free. How shall we extol thee, who are born to thee?
Well, the fact is I love baked beans. I usually eat them with toast, buttered toast. Trying to cut down on the old fatty substances with regarding butter and stuff like that, which is good, it's working. I eat baked beans usually with like meals, sausage, beans and chips. Like typical British meals that usually revolve around beans, having an extra something, because if you eat too much dry foods like chips, it helps when you have beans, you can gulp it down much more easier. Absolutely, I do like my baked beans, yeah. I think I've still got a few tins left in my cupboards in the kitchen, because I think I had to do a lot of packing away with certain tins. Yeah, but I do eat a lot of baked beans, yeah. Thank you very much for asking. I eat baked beans, man. Beans, the musical fruit. Righty-ho. Thank you very kindly for asking that amazingly wonderful question, Miss Piggotto. I'm quite hungry now. Thank you for that. That's alright. I'm a good cook. One of the finest in the business. I'm a brilliant chef. In fact, they tried to hire me for South Park, but
I'm going down to South Park, gonna have myself a time. Going down to South Park and meet some friends.
Right, RetroSesh is next. Hi guys, thank you very much. It's not been long since we had our collab, is it? That amazing, wonderful gaming mini interview. And now you're really getting involved in my channel a bit more. Greatly appreciate it. 2 thumbs up from me. Okay. RetroSesh asks, what is your favourite controller? That one I don't even have to think about. Out of all the controllers I've played video games with, along the many years I've played gaming with, it is, however, this one is my most favourite. I'll show you. Sorry, wires. The Dreamcast control pad. I bloomin' love this. I mean, it's easy to play. I love the colour coordination with this. I love the fact that you can use these little things. I mean, when I was playing the Dreamcast when I was growing up, right? And I'll tell you a bit of a story here. I should have saved it for my virtual, one of my stories, but I think it's to do with Sonic Adventure, but I'll say it now so I can get the video ready for it. When I was playing Sonic Adventures, I've got the game, oh, it's on the green screen, you don't see it. And after I completed it numerous times, obviously in that game, Sonic Adventures, you've got the Chow, haven't you? The little baby things, okay? And I didn't know how this connected with that in terms of how it worked. So when it said, would you like to train your Chow? I said, okay, one night. I trained it, I saved the data in these things, for those of you here, in this little amazing thing, which you can actually use to play with. This is brilliant, I love that. Sega, thank you so much for this, and the memories. It started beeping one night, and then I thought, what's that coming from? So I didn't have a watch on. I thought, no, not on today, not this time. I looked at my controller, picked it up, is it coming from here? And then, when I went back to that race thing, when you can race the Chows, obviously mine was the slowest. I thought, okay, mine's beaten. You know, you started out with the crawlies, then eventually you could run. Mine one kept on crawling and crawling. That's because I didn't train it. And silly story, I thought, how am I going to win? It's just crawling against people who are just running, man. Hurry up. So I thought I was doing something wrong, but I thought it must be broken. But this controller, okay, that's a little bit of history over. I absolutely adore. I mean, it's got analog, only one analog stick required, no need for two. D-pad, nice little start, and it's got that. I love the overall design of it. It fits well in the hands. It's got a lovely Dreamcast ticket, slogan there, and it's not that bulky, but it's all right. I think it's actually pretty well developed and designed control pad. The Dreamcast control pad is beautiful. So out of all controllers I've played ever, this is my most favourite one. The Dreamcast control pad is my most favourite control pad of all time. I don't even need to think about it. I've always loved it ever since. There has never been another controller that has even come close to being as awesome as that one. Good question, guys. I love that. Thank you. Also, fajitas, enchiladas, or burritos? Ooh, ho, ho. Wow. I think enchiladas I've had the least experience with, and fajitas I've had the most. Burritos I've had second, but in terms of the quality, the finesse, the amazingness, the juicy sexiness of what I'm eating, out of all three things, definitely for me, it's got to be fajitas. I just love fajitas. They're so amazing. I can never get enough of them. After I've eaten one, I want to have another one, then a whole lot. And eventually I'll probably eat so many of them. All these shops will have a field day with my money. But I love fajitas. I love making my own sort of things. I just love them. Fajitas are just so gorgeous. I love them things. Yes, out of all three, enchiladas, I need to have a little bit more of. Burritos, I think they're alright. They're really nice burritos, but fajitas is definitely #1 place for me. I love fajitas, mate. Thanks, guys. You guys and Miss Piggotto are making me hungry even more. Better get my chef hat on soon. Day 2? Yeah, sorry. I was really tired the other day when I was recording my first responses. So here I'm continuing them. Okay, next one we have from Meowgid. Is there one retro game remake that makes you mad that it was created? Before I get into the answer, do you know what I love about Q&As? Is how honest I get to be. I get to be that on my own channel anyway, but I just love letting loose. I really do. And regarding that question, no, actually. To be perfectly honest, I don't really have any madness towards anyone who's actually remade any games from the good old retro gaming times, the good old days of gaming. To actually say, oh, I disagree. No. In fact, mine's the other way around. There has been a huge anger inside of me, the fact that certain games haven't been remade, and yet I want them to remake them because I feel like they've got a lot of great potential with updated gaming experience. I mean, I'm not against the people who want to bring back the abandoned old school games that didn't really have much of a chance in terms of being wholesome sales in the gaming image, or it would have been really interesting to have the unreleased games that have forever collected dust, probably to the point where they've just dissolved now, kind of thing. I wouldn't mind seeing a few of that thing going on. That might be happening. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I might do a bit of research on that. But so my old gaming philosophy is, why mess with perfection? You know, through the years there has been gaming remakes, like when the first few generations were still, in the main thing. The main popular thing, like say Castlevania, for example, the first one, good old NES. I think the second one, if there was going to be a remake on that, it should have been the Super Nintendo. Updated system, more to do and more to play with, kind of thing. If anything, that gets me a little bit annoyed sometimes, unless it's for understandable reasons, is if there was a game made on the PS3. Does it need to have a remake on the PS4? It sometimes works. It may be a bit glitchy and stuff. I can understand that kind of thing if it's unplayable. But if it's unplayable, why bloody release it? For goodness sake. So, no, there hasn't really been any gaming remakes of retro games that I absolutely am mad about. I tried to think. I even looked online. No, there hasn't been any. So, if anything that I'm mad about is certain games that haven't been remade that I feel that would have been an interesting list, but might do that for another video. But no, they're a really good question. I like that. Yeah, thank you very much, Meowgid. That's a really good question. Is there one that made you feel blessed that it was done? No. See, that's kind of like a NA question, not applicable here, because there hasn't been one done that I feel blessed that it was done. The potential ones are the ones that are unexplored in that area, I'm afraid. I don't even know who to blame for it. maybe the people that created it or whoever has license over those games. Was there a game that did not get a sequel that you felt deserved one? Yes. Plenty, actually. There's a lot. But in a specific one, yes. Oh, you want me to say which one? Okay, out of many of the games that I've played, a lot of them, I feel like, okay, they should have just one game. Sometimes there's no harm in going for the second or third. So for this one, this specific one, for a sequel, I'm going to go for Blast Corps on the N64. I felt that if that game had a sequel, that would have been like it. That would have been great. I love the first Blast Corps. In fact, that's the only game that I've actually played in terms of its name. Rare knew what they were doing when they made games, I'm telling you right now. But it's kind of rare these days to find good Rare games, because it's really rare for them to actually make good games much anymore. They're not the same as they used to be. That's the problem when other people get involved. Microsoft! Is the one that made you wonder why a sequel was made? I would actually have to say probably, well, this is going into so many of them. The Assassin's Creed games, because I loved the first one. And the second one I heard so many good things about. But this is what I don't really like. There's a sequel, but then there's having 10 billion other things after as well. That's what gets on my nerves. When a game gets a sequel, sometimes that could be the conclusion of something, or the start of something good if it goes for a third one. And the only few games that fits that description is probably for me the Shenmue games, because the first one was an absolute brilliant piece of brilliance. I love it to bits. Second one was continued that amazingness, right? So first one started here, second one went boom, and the third one is bringing it to a close. Doesn't mean to say that's a rollercoaster bad thing, no. It was absolutely brilliant with the Shenmue games, right? Beginning, middle, and an end. Brilliant. I love that. With the Assassin's Creed games, I felt there's a lot of unnecessary proportions. I can understand what they're going for, okay, that's brilliant, but they could have done it with another video game title, which would have went throughout the different branches of history and time of human history. That would have been great, but I would have to say the Assassin's Creed games. I think the first one's brilliant, and I still yet to play number 2. I've got most of them still, but when I played number 3, I got so bored. I was like, why am I playing this? Thank you very kindly, Meowgid, for your questions. Really lovely questiones. Alright, now we have AffroShow, and he asks, what is your favourite gaming platform of choice? Without a shadow of a doubt, consoles. I just prefer gaming consoles because that is my little go-to place. I have a nice little piece of hardware machine right there. I mean, when I grew up with gaming, it was mostly consoles and handhelds anyway. So there's I'm not saying that the PC has no place in that. No, of course no. If I had to choose like a top 5 list of what gaming platform I prefer, definitely gaming consoles would absolutely be in first place always. Second place, yes, I have to do a video on that maybe one day. But every piece of gaming hardware that can play video games on has its place. I mean, for goodness sake, I mean, growing up here in England, we had I had little phones, I had like Nokia 3210. I remember the good old days of playing Snake on the phones. Remember the good old days of playing games on the Game Boy Colors, the Game Boy Advance, and DS and 3DS and things like that. Every piece of gaming hardware has its place to fit certain types of games. So mostly with online gameplay, without a doubt, that's for PC. I mean, especially for those elitists, right? For gaming in general, yeah, absolutely, that can fit anything. I say PC because, you know, that's the sort of machine that can handle internet access better than the gaming consoles, even though they have done it. But let's be honest here. With the fact that PC is actually built to have that and to actually withstand it, look at the PS2 and Xbox. How long did that last for online? Then look at the PS3 and 360. Okay, so yeah, every game, regardless of its genre, has a place with certain gaming platforms, okay? But for me, it's absolutely first place, the consoles. That is a really good question. Thank you very much, Afro. I really appreciate it. Okay, next we have ZakPak. Oh, goodness. Every time I say your name, man, your intro just plays on in my head. I've listened to it so many times. I've even bobbled along with it. Your intro is so bloody catchy. For those of you that are interested in knowing, go to ZakPak's channel and you'll see what I mean. It's really good fun intro. I love it. I love it, man. So, what inspired you to start a YouTube channel back in the day? Back in the day? Back in the day? Let me tell you something about being back in the day. Back in the day, as a black man fighting for my rights while being slaved, right? I was being whipped out in the hot sun for working my backside off. Back in the day, I was trying to pick some cocoa beans just so people in their little poncy houses so they can even have a strand of coffee in their bloody mornings. Back in the day. What inspired me? I don't think anybody on YouTube specifically inspired me, but you could say what inspired me or who. I guess that came down to the fact that I guess I wanted an idea. I didn't want to be like one of these Batman legacy types, but that changed a lot, but I still wanted to be my own person. I saw YouTube as a platform to just record my gameplay. That was the most specific thing I did because I didn't have no PC, no equipment to work with. I said this in my anniversary video. That's what it was. I explained my little start journey on my YouTube then in that video, which was brilliant. But as a refresher, I guess I inspired myself because what I wanted to do was to keep the retro gaming alive. Now, obviously, I knew there were people older than me that started gaming way before I did, but I wasn't well versed of how much gaming was before my time. And what I wanted to do was, if I could find gaming hardware, video games, I've built my collection with over 500 games, which is nice. I need to calm that down a bit because I'm running out of storage space. I wanted to keep retro gaming alive, I did. I wanted to revisit the gaming from the past that I absolutely loved and grew up with. And by this point, in 2009, the PS3, 360 and the Wii was out. Okay, not to mention these certain handhelds. I loved the DS, that was brilliant. So with the fact that I didn't have any inspirations, I felt like I didn't see it as more as me starting YouTube because I was inspired. I wanted to do it because I wanted to share my passion. I wanted to keep myself anonymous for a while because I did for many years, until I thought like, okay, face cam, okay, it's going all well. I didn't receive such harsh treatment. I was actually all praised and positive. Got told I was handsome, which was really nice. I remember who said that, by the way. And the fact that I've made it this far in YouTube is just outstanding. 10 years later and I'm still here. It's amazing. See, I didn't start out because I wanted to get all the views, all the subscribers, and keep doing all these fake giveaways, that nonsense that people do on YouTube these days. That really annoyed the blooming soul out of my bloody flesh. I guess I wanted just to be a part of something also. You know, I wanted to feel part of a group, a gaming group, a gaming scene, so to speak. A nice little group of gamers who share the same interests and hobbies. That's what it started out for me. I never had any big aspirations, no huge inspirations, things of that nature. It was just me just wanting to be part of something gaming related, part of my passion. I wanted to continue it and see if I can make something of it. Remember, bear in mind, okay, this was back when YouTube, where you could actually have your own background. It wasn't as versed as it is now, being owned by Google and stuff, and YouTube's changed a lot since then, and so has its content creators. And because it's got a lot more serious in the industry, I guess you could say that I'm probably a few of the last remaining survivors of the old days. Me, James Rolfe, PewDiePie, and many UK and US based YouTube content creators. You know, many of us can go way back 10 years ago and just look at our journey. I look at my old videos from my old accounts, I see the legacy that I've left for myself, and I didn't see it as much as that. not as important as being a legacy. I just see it as some random guy just uploading videos because he loved gaming, and he still does. Thanks for the question, Zach. That was a good one. I like when I go into a bit of story like that. I love it. I love it. What movie franchise do you love? Star Wars. Well, the old Star Wars, the OG Star Wars, not the 7, 8, and yet to be 9 Star Wars. I love Star Wars simply because of the fact, not only because I grew up with it and all that nostalgia goggles things, no, it's also the fact that I love science fiction. I love space, I love the universe, I love the storytelling and the theories and the different multi-Googleplex thinking things of how time works, or alien species living amongst the same realm that we do, and lightsabers, gun action, bounty hunters, sarlacc beasts, and giant worms who get strangled to death because they're into that sort of thing by princesses who dress very skimpy, which I don't have a problem with. So yes, I love Star Wars. It's been one of those things that it wasn't just from film, it was also into video game form. I love that so much. The only thing I've not really got involved in Star Wars fan-wise is actually the books and the comics and things, so I really want to get involved in those, and I really should. So the OG Star Wars when it was Star Wars, you know what I mean? And sometime in the future, if I'm still alive to look at it and witness it, maybe a good revamp of Star Wars. But as long as Disney still holds the flipping rights to it, or because of George Lucas sold them to Disney mug, I don't know if I'm ever going to see a good one. But yeah, Disney is most definitely one of the franchises that I can say I still love, and I still like the movies 1 and 3. Wasn't really favoured the number 2 much, but it still holds some sort of continuity with Skywalker. So hey. And what movie franchise do you think is overrated? This one is probably going to be an easy one for me to say, and I think I do have my reasons for it. Well, I know I do, but I won't go too much on about it. I'm going to say the superhero ones, if that even counts as movie franchise, you know, like MCU or the DC stuff. You see, I love superheroes and all that, but the problem is that I'm finding with these movies now is that some of these okay, compose yourself, man. Okay, I'll explain why I'm laughing, and I'm going to say it right now. The CW. There you go, that's why I'm laughing. I can't even answer this question. I'm sorry. Compose yourself, man. Come on, compose yourself. Okay. With the fact that I said superhero. Okay, compose yourself. Okay. Why do I think that the superhero movie franchise is overrated? Is because, like, a lot of people seem to be jumping on the bandwagon of producing these superhero movies now. Now, obviously, for a very long time, since before, yes, and around the Adam West TV series in the 60s, obviously that was related to Batman and his Rogue Gallery, and before we had, like, in black and white TV, I think Superman and maybe a tiny bit of Shazam, the original Captain Marvel, they had their shows, and I think Captain Marvel, well, Shazam, as he's known now, because they had to do the name switching, even though Billy Batson isn't technically Shazam, that's the wizard. He just has his powers from Shazam, who, you know, an acronym and a name. Bloody hell, man. Marvel and DC, get it together. So with the fact that I feel that the superhero ones are overrated, a lot of people seem to be doing them now, and I don't feel like, unless there's an absolutely good storytelling in terms of whoever's going to get their own movie where it's going to be like, I don't know, let's say Black Adam from DC. I heard that they're going to bring him next. He's one of my favourite anti-heroes, or it depends how they're going to interpret him, because to me he feels like an anti-hero, but in certain cases he could be a villain, but I prefer to see him more of as a Deathstroke, like an anti-hero type thing. You know, he can do good as well. I find those sort of characters more, if not somewhat better and more relatable than heroes. Sometimes when heroes on shows get these two goody shoes sort of thing. It's kind of boring, and when they're so overpowered and yet they're poorly written, that is extremely saturatedly of boredom. I say the superhero stuff because everyone seems to love them and feels everyone's sort of like, you can't talk bad about this character. You know, it's gotten to the point where we've had so many superhero shows and movies and video games where it's just been overdone, and I feel that's kind of overrated because people actually go to them and say they're the greatest thing since the orgasm with about 1,500 different women in 1 week, but I don't agree with that. There's a lot more better storytelling in different other genres of movies rather than the superhero ones. Goodness sake. So while I say that, I do mean it, to be honest. It's just the fact that's what it is for me. I mean, they're good. I've watched my fair share, big time, but I don't think they're the greatest thing. I think they're just overrated. There's only certain movies that I actually do like in the superhero scene that have good storytelling. Some are okay, some of them are just passable. The other ones are just forced, shoehorned, or pretty much have this political or sexual orientated agenda, whatever you want to call it. It's woke, SJW, feminism, feminazi, whatever. That's what is in now, and I can't be bothered with it. In fact, I hate it, to be honest. I don't want that kind of rubbish in my superhero movies. And if I ever make a superhero movie, could be possible spoilers, that is never going to be in my bloody movies. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be full-heartedly good story plot, good character development. Why is that so difficult for experienced writers and bloody directors to actually implement in a movie? Because they want to get all of that, don't they? Mugs. How has YouTube changed or affected your life? Oh, wow. Well, this is the thing. I started YouTube rather early, didn't I? This is probably one of those questions where it's like a butterfly effect, where if I didn't go on YouTube, back at MySpace at the time, would I be in the same situation I am now if I didn't continue that course at that particular time? Who knows? Probably not, but we don't know how time works in its full capacity as human beings, do we? So without trying to sound like a multiversal PhD scientist here, let's just say that YouTube hasn't had much of a negative impact on my life. It hasn't changed my life, but it's affected me in positive ways because I've actually met some quite decent people on YouTube, actually, and social media. I've met some really nice folk. I've speak to them quite on near enough a daily basis. I'm always asking how other people are. I've received so much support, I guess, in a way that when I upload videos and I get, like, let's just say person number one comments how much they like it, and the odd comment where it's like, I think you could have done this a bit better, or I want to see more of that, or I disagree with you on this bit, but I do love the videos. You know, that's all good, because it teaches you about yourself in terms of, like, how you're going to handle stress, how are you going to handle criticism, and how are you going to handle people who disagree with you. Okay? But then it comes to on the other side of things, how are you going to handle the trolls, how are you going to handle being out there in the big bad world, how are you going to handle being with, in a virtual way, a lot of people who are just absolute heads, basically. Being with people who are just absolute morons. You know, that's them in their real life, and they're just going to implement into YouTube and stuff or social media. But it hasn't really changed or affected my life that much in a negative capacity. But it probably would have changed a few things. I think it actually has, because I actually feel part of something. And, you know, I'm happy that I'm actually still here, actually, to be honest. So yeah, it's affected me in a good way. Yeah, good question. I like it. And let's not forget to address the crybabies. If you don't like what they like, or if you go at, you know, full force, or if you're saying why you don't like certain things that they like, be it a video game, or a gaming system, or a movie, TV series, music album, celebrity, let the salt flow through their flipping little eyes, and you just laugh. What is your fondest gaming memory? Wow, man. Goodness me. Okay, stop the music. Let's just dig deep into my little mind here. My fondest gaming memory. Wow, this is really personal to me. I don't really have one. I have loads. I have many, because back in the days of growing up, right, you know, you have your youth. You have a different outlook on life. Many of my fond, I'm gonna have to add memories to that. Sorry, I don't just have one. I've got to try and wrap up as a whole. Gaming with family, gaming with friends, and at the same time growing up watching amazing cartoons like Cartoon Network and good stuff that was on TV worth watching. Growing up in those days, I really saw gaming for what it was. A splendid, amazing, multiversal art form. Virtual art form of the pixelated realm that you could just leave this reality, go into that one, and boost up your fun, your fondness of characters, the absolute amazing uniqueness of gaming design, the music, the amazing impact that gaming had back then. The fact that I'm specifically referring to what is now considered retro games, those were my most fondest memories. I loved gaming with mates, friends, looking forward to the next gaming release. I had such happy times. I had these wonderful gaming memories I absolutely adore, because I adore old school retro gaming. They provided not just nostalgia, because that, I mean, I'll be blinded to the things that were wrong with gaming, but I know there were bad games. I've played my fair share, and all the consoles I had pretty much worked perfectly, apart from the scratch discs on the PS1. It's understandable why it would take a while, but gaming has provided me with some of the most cherished moments and memories in my life. Specifically in that area, because I've got all sorts of other cherished moments and memories, but specifically gaming, I've got many. Some of my most favourite moments in gaming memories is that just gaming with family and friends. I love that, just being brought together, sitting next to each other, local co-op or local versus, and have a great laugh, you know? It was absolutely amazing. It's those sentimental moments and memories that I'll always hold dear forever, right? I won't get that these days with all the modern and future games and gaming and all that. Forget modern stuff. Let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, that's better. So most of my most cherished moments in gaming have been involved with gaming with other people and talking about games, how much of a passion I have for them. I remember growing up in school, well, not in school, that would be silly. Oh look, you're here every day, you're early. I just loved gaming with and talking about it a lot, reading the gaming magazines and getting involved in something that I personally love and enjoy, finding such joy, finding such impactful, sentimental, of a second home basically. Gaming was pretty much my second home, and I felt comfortable there as well. And so that, I can't really go into detail because that's pretty much personal to me. You understand. Hopefully some of the rest of you do too, but yes, some of those moments in gaming have always been with me, gaming with others, loving, exploring, trial and error of certain games, trying different gaming accessories, the highs and lows, the rage, the peaceful days, the amazing bondness I had with other people, and it's never ever failed me, especially what is considered now retro games. So when I grew up in the 4th gen, and from the 5th and 6th, so I'd probably say 4, 5 and 6 are my most favourite gaming generations in my time of life. I started out as a child, and I pretty much ended it when I was in my mid-teens with the PS2 and the Xbox. So I would have said GameCube, but I didn't own one. I didn't own one until after, so, but that's still there. I think, actually, technically as well, I think I played the GameCube before I played the PS2. I think so. Or was it the Xbox? I remember playing Luigi's Mansion. Oh, there's a game for you, Zach. But yeah, thank you so much for the amazing, encouraging words at the end. I will definitely keep up the hard work, and thank you, Zach. Thank you very much for just taking a few seconds out of your day and joining in on a Twitter feed. My Twitter feed. Thank you. I really appreciate your YouTube channel. I really appreciate you. I wish I would have known you were down here. I could have visited you when you visited UK, but I wasn't aware. But I'm happy I managed to find you on that live stream one day. I thought, oh yeah, Zach's on. Yeah, hello. Yeah. So remember, you always have my support, Zach, mate. As so does everyone else who asks me or who engages with me on my channel, on my Twitter, on my Instagram. I really appreciate it because it doesn't fall on deaf notice with me. It may do with most other people, but not me. Goes to show you how much I truly appreciate even the most smallest of supports. It's really encouraging, and thank you again, Zach. Thank you very much for your questions. Alright, Ramsey is next. Where's one country you would love to travel to? Okay. Well, Themyscira is out of the question because that's an island. You know, I'd love to go there though, just for off sake of the questions, like, you know, because I love the amazing fruit there. It's nice and quiet. It's skirt by sea, and you know, it's got amazing decor and such wonderful splendor. I could have so much fun there. In any case, probably, what's a good one? One place I'd love to go to, maybe New Zealand or Chile. I've never really heard or anything about Chile. I think that's on the more American side. Or Argentina, Japan. I've always wanted to go there because, you know, into my gaming and stuff. But to be realistic, I would actually say out of those ones I could actually visit, probably Japan. But I would also love to visit Greece because the history of Greece and everything about so many things that I've known about the Greek history and culture. I've been to one of the Greek islands, and that's closest as Greece I'm going to get, apart from having meeting people with greasy hair and stuff. But yeah, I have to say either Japan or Greece. Maybe one of the African nations as well. So it's really hard to say, but I would like to travel, you know, see what the rest of the world's all about. As long as they got good toilets, I'm alright. You know, I'm alright with that. Certain toilets I've seen, you have to literally sit on the floor. Where's the comfortableness in that? Goodness me. Thank you for asking, Ramsey. Right, PsychoWilko's next. What was the video game you first ever played? Right, mate, how you doing? Thank you very much for asking, PsychoWilko. I wouldn't know. This is one of those questions that I would need someone else to tell me because I was so young at the time when I first was introduced to gaming. The first few games I remember playing were on the SNES and Mega Drive. And those games were Sonic 2, Streets of Rage, what else? Toe Jam and L2, Panic on Funkatron. The Mega Drive compilation with Columns, a football game, and I think Super Hang-On. And Street Fighter 2, The World Warrior. Super Mario 2 or Super Mario 3. Out of these 7 games, one of them must have come first. And I can't for the life of me remember which one it was. Oh yeah, and the Super Mario All-Stars. So out of those 8 games, I apologise. And probably another one. I know I'm forgetting one. It doesn't matter. But somewhere along those lines, I played one of those games first. The first game I remember playing, having the most experience on when I was younger, was actually Sonic 2. Absolutely groundbreaking game. I blooming love that. Second to that would actually be Toe Jam and Panic on Funkatron. I know the Super Bomberman 3 game came after that. So no, that wasn't my first one, but that was in the lines of the same few years in which I started gaming on, which was brilliant as well. Bloody missed those days. But yeah, thank you very much for the question, PsychoWilko, mate. That one's a real tough one because it's one of those things where, you know, as I said, someone else has to tell me, not me to find out, because it's locked in there somewhere and I wouldn't know which. Ray's next. Okay, what have you got for us, Ray? How did I miss this? Oh yeah, it's okay. I don't know if my Twitter is actually coming through clear enough, or I'm used to being ignored. No one likes me. Nah, that's alright. It's probably one of the things, I don't know how many people you're following. Maybe so many people are just updating their Twitters a lot more than I am. But which gaming community, in my opinion, do I think is the most toxic, eh? Wow. Well, obviously we can also... Okay, which ones... It's really tough. As long as if one community is toxic and another one can be pretty much on the same level of just being toxic. But some of them vary greatly in that regard. I would actually have to say, in my experience with playing the game for so many years, one of them for me personally has got to be DC Universe Online. I've complained at how much toxicity is actually flooding through that game. It is unbelievable, from MMO, RPG, no, it's an MMO, RPG, whatever, MMO, online game featuring a lot of players and superheroes. It's amazing how blooming toxic that game is. And the thing is, DCO devs are not really doing much about it. People are still getting away with it. Yeah, reporting and all this and that, but nah. You see, with that game, I believe it's so toxic because when you ask for help, you get a lot of trolling back. When a lot of people just take the mickey out of you, and there's a lot of arguments on it. Sometimes it's over nothing, and sometimes people just take things way too far. I mean, as far as communication goes on that game, that's more text-based than voice. I mean, you can use your headsets and stuff, but I've rarely heard anyone ever you heard any swearing through the headset and stuff. So, text-based toxicity, DC Universe. However, voice-based toxicity, I'm inclined to say Call of Duty here, because ever since online's been implemented on that game, honestly, the amount of mum jokes and cancer jokes and death threats and trolling, and the amount of kids that have apparently shagged each other's mums and mums across the world and stuff, and digging up corpses of your dead loved ones, and using all these sorts of disgusting, horrible comments. Honestly, yeah, Call of Duty is definitely up there with toxicity flooding through that game's online, big time. Say if you say a certain Call of Duty's game's rubbish, you get 10 billion dislikes on your flipping videos, even if you could give good, legit, valid reasons as to why you don't like it. It's pathetic. So definitely DC Universe, text-based and voice-based is definitely Call of Duty. Yes, absolutely. And to be honest, when I'm hearing these sort of things online, I just find it hilarious. It's so funny. I've caused my fair share of problems in my time. I've got videos to prove it. Thank you very much for commenting, Ray. Oh, that was a good one. It's okay. Don't worry about not being notified. I don't know if Twitter has a notification bell. I think it does. I don't even know. I think you have to click it. I don't know. However that works. But in any case, I'm glad you managed to reply in time. Thank you very much, Ray. Alrighty then. Hang on. There we go. It's BubblyZen's time to ask some questions. Now, first question. Is there a game release that you're really excited about? Before I start, hello, Bubbly. Hello. Hello. Yes, there is actually. And it's a game which I never thought would actually make an appearance, considering all the news and stuff. And that game is Shenmue 3. Whoop whoop! From the Dreamcast to the Xbox, and now to the freaking Xbox One. Goodness sake, it's been some years. I'm so excited and happy Shenmue 3 is actually coming to a conclusion. Honestly, the Shenmue games have provided me with years of love, appreciation, such. It was such a really well story from my point of view when I was younger playing it. I love the interaction in-game, the changing weather, the fact you can get a job. I think it was ahead of its time for the Dreamcast, and I really loved it on the Xbox as well, considering that amazing epicness into the next story for a sequel. And now, after all these years later, it's finally getting a third release, and hopefully this will leave it alone for all the years to come. I am extremely excited and happy and so buzzed and hyped. This might be the only game ever I'll probably get on release day. I never do that, but for this game I'm making an exception for it, because this is such an amazing game series, and I think it really does truly deserve my cash. Do you find it difficult to find the balance between time, family, friends, YouTube, gaming and family? No, actually. I think with me it's always about priorities. If I've got something going on one certain day, or like out of the blue, then I put everything else on hold. I'm really good at managing my time and who I'm going to spend it with throughout my days and throughout my week. I'm pretty good at that, actually. So sometimes I've got spontaneous meetings that I may have forgot. Well, not spontaneous if they're meetings. I mean events or things that just happen out of the blue, and I'm like, oh, what do I do here? I thought, okay, I'll just let everyone know what I'm doing, or if I have to take a rain check on something. I find that with my time, I can have a really good balance between YouTubing, gaming, and my general hobbies and my family and friends. So usually I'm always asking my friends how they are. If I feel like I'm free, I like to meet up with them sometimes. And other times with YouTubing, I do YouTube edits mostly, and sometimes I actually do love supporting other people, watching their accounts, searching for other accounts and stuff, because YouTube ain't going to do it. So I've got to do it. And with work and things, yeah, I'm doing alright with that. So I can balance everything out pretty much fine, actually. Yeah, that's a really good one. Thanks, Bubbly. Bubbly, if you want me to make more time for you, all you have to do is ask. And will my ice cream fan be completed? I made it. The thing is, you just have to travel all the way over here to the UK and collect it in person. That's all. Then, or I could pay you to make the journey. Pay for your ticket, as I'm really generous. Pay for your hotel. Pay for your bus ticket to travel around the country. Pay for your car. Want to pay for your butler? I can do that. These peasants, money means nothing to me. So it's already ready, Bubbly. You just need to come and collect it. That's all. And thank you very much for asking the amazing questions. And last but not least, my Pete, good old friend of mine, asked the question, when's the Snowball Kids review happening? Well, I'm hoping to start it real soon. I've not even started the script or anything yet. Oh, I've had so many blooming videos. This is what I mean. I need to calm down on my video ideas. I've been working overtime, to be honest, in terms of editing and other stuff to attend to. But hopefully really soon. Hopefully within the next 4 months. Hopefully, because yeah, hopefully very soon. I'll have to let you know when I'm actually close to getting near the finish and ending of the script, doing my research and things, and I'll give it a percentage of how much I'm almost done. Yeah, so that's it. I actually look forward to this review of Snowball Kids with you, man. Thank you for asking the question. Those questions, so amazing. Thank you, all you wonderful lovelies, all you teddy bear monkeys, for the amazing questions. I loved the fact that you just took the time out of your day, wanted to look at my Twitter. You know, no one really likes to, and actually asked me a question or two or three or a couple of more. Thank you extremely kindly for everyone who got involved. You know who you are. I'll have to put your links in the channel description. Well, I want to. If for those of you that actually make content, and when this video is up on Twitter, I'll tag you all in it just so that you're all aware that I answered it. Okay. Hopefully you enjoyed this wonderful What's Up Doc episode. I can't believe how long it actually took. It's almost like a whole blooming hour. But thank you very kindly for everyone who participated. Very much appreciated. It helps the channel, okay? You support me, really helps. Especially when it comes to me supporting you back. It flipping helps. I don't think you realise just how much it does help. Alright. I'm feeling really tired. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Is it? Yeah, about 3 o'clock in the morning now. I'm going to go to bed. Well, at least at the time it was I'm editing this. I feel as knackered as a blooming teddy bear, I do. Take care of yourselves, fellow gaming minions. Thank you ever so much again for joining in on this Q&A. Look forward to doing more in the future. And for those of you that I've got collab ideas with, if you kindly just remind me as well, because I've got so much to work with as well. If we did any collab ideas together, or if you've got any in mind that you want to be part of, just comment in the comment section below and I'll read and I'll respond. May retro gaming live on, and may you take good care of yourselves, take good care of your fans, take good care of your wallets, your purses, your fundings, don't get scammed, look after your friends and your family and also yourself. See you soon.